Hi, I'm Jason at LollarGuitars.com, and we've just come out. These are the prototypes. These are the first two of this style of pickup that we made, and they are copies of the original Gibson Thunderbird bass pickup. And I'm going to show how to install it into a Epiphone bass, Thunderbird bass. Pickups are really very thin profile, whereas the original pickups that go in the Epiphone are quite a bit fatter, like this. And the reason is because the neck joint is different than the original Gibson Thunderbird. So what I've had to do to adapt this to the Thunderbird is I've made a couple shims which will fit over the hole, which the hole is a slightly different size than our original Thunderbird, and the pickups will fit over the shims like so, and then it'll fit right underneath there. Now, the problem here is the screw that you're going to typically get to hold the pickup into the guitar body is a little too short for this style of pickup. So what I've had to do is I took some wood blocks about 3/8 thick by 1 1/4 inches by 3/4 inches, and I would just epoxy those in there to give something for the screw to bite into. But because this is a demo, I'm just going to hot glue it really quick. Epoxy would be a much better solution to that. Now, let's see. Because of the hole for the wire is right in the corner here, in this lower corner, I'm going to glue this one in sideways so that it doesn't cover the hole for the wires. Okay, so once I got the wood blocks in, I'm going to take my neck pickup and shove the lead wire through there, through the hole. And yes, you could do this with the strings off, but I change pickups out in the shop with our own instruments so often. You know, we'll put a set in and put a different set in, and 10 minutes later we'll put a different set in, and we don't usually pull the strings. So that's how that's going to line up. This shim's going to cover any extra length of the route, because these are a little bit shorter than the Epiphone. And it's also going to put it at the correct height that we want the pickup to be. So I'm just going to eyeball this. Let's see. Bet you it's a 3/4 inch overlap, I bet you. Nope, not quite. It's about 0.8 inches to the center. So I have a drill that is about 0.08 in diameter. And I just drilled the hole for that screw into that wood block, that shim. Beautiful. Of course, I've made sure my drill is the same size as the screw, so I don't drill through the back of the instrument. And you can see more about how to solder and how to handle the tools and a lot of details about just working on guitars on my other video about installing Stratocaster pickups. So here's my first wire. Now here's my bridge pickup. This uses a thicker shim. Beautiful. This one, you can actually eyeball this. I just needed to get it at an angle where it's directly above it, and I can see pretty easily when it's centered. So with this system, we don't need any springs. If this was an actual Gibson guitar, the way they were mounted before, the pickups would go into the body. There'd be a route bigger than the pickup, and the pickup would slip down into the body, and there'd be springs or foam underneath this pickup. Look at that. There they are screwed in. That's how that looks. Okay, we've pulled the original Epiphone pickups out, put the new original Thunderbird reproductions in, and I'm going to use the same pots and output jack that originally came with the guitar. Now, the original Epiphone pickups that came in this are they're hotter than our reproductions, and they're pretty muddy in comparison. The reproductions have better attack and definition, but they also have a really nice mid-rangey kind of snarly kind of sound to them. So they're kind of an aggressive sounding pickup that would sound really good for a lot of things, but I think rock and roll in particular would sound good. Now normally I would take these wires and I would cut them to length. I'd cut it right about there, and I'd join it to the pot. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to roll it up, because these are brand new pickups and who knows what they're going to actually wind up getting installed in, so I'm leaving the wires as they are. But the problem with that is going to be I'm going to have to put some tape over everything so that so this ground doesn't wind up touching any of the hot connections and short out the pickups. It won't hurt anything, it'll just kill your signal. Once again, you can find out about soldering and what kind of solder I use and the iron and everything on my installing Stratocaster pickups video. But people are going to ask anyways. This is Kester 44, number 44. It's a 6040 tin lead, and I'm just pre-tinning that connection there. make sure I don't melt these wires, so get them out of the way a little bit. I'm gonna connect that to that center pin on that lug, center pin on the pot. And then, once that cools, I'm going to solder the braid to the back of the pot. Pretty easy, huh? There it is. There's the neck pickup. Now for the bridge pickup. It goes on the second volume control. And you see this type of wire we use, you can just take the shield, the braid, and push it back like that. Instead of having to strip it. Just push this, called pushback wire. And you can do the same thing with the center conductor. And once again, I'm just going to pretend that really quick. Let that cool. You don't want to move that while the solder's still hot. So give it a cold solder joint, it can sound really bad. And once again, I'll solder the ground lead. Yep, got it. Now, I'm going to close this cavity up, but if I push that down, the ground on the shield could touch one of the connections on the pot. And then that'll short your signal out, so I'm going to put a little bit of tape underneath that wire. Let's take some tape like this. That'll keep that from touching anything. So, there we are. We got new Thunderbird bass pickups from Lollar Guitars coming soon. Alright, we're going to run through some of the sounds that the Thunderbird bass pickups can do, and we'll start on the neck pickup only with fingers. And then with a pick. And then with both pickups. Then on the bridge only. Then with the pick again.